He is the CEO and co-founder of Posh Skin Co., a Philippine-designed pimple patch brand that has become a Gen Z favorite, and in a year and 3 months is now also available in Singapore. With us now on our weekly Startup and Beyond segment, please welcome Dowan Kim. It's good seeing you, Dowan. Welcome to the program.
Thanks so much for having me.
All right, so how did you come up with that designer pimple patch in your face?
Yeah, again, thanks so much for having me. We started looking at the acne skincare market in the Philippines because we really saw a white space that we thought we could comfortably address. When we surveyed the market 2 years ago, we saw that there was really nothing that was really cute, really fun, and accessible for Gen Z. If you think about people that are struggling with acne, typically they're 14 to 28, right? And in this day and age of TikTok, what we saw was people wanted to embrace their flaws. They didn't want to simply hide it.
That is so interesting because during my time, if you've got a zit in your face, you wouldn't even want anybody addressing it.
Yeah.
So it's that change in the way people think about addressing a zit is to actually magnify it.
Exactly.
And put on a designer patch.
Exactly.
That must cost though.
No. So contrary to people thinking it might be expensive, it's actually a lot more accessible than you would think. You know, when we designed the brand Posh, we designed it with the boundary conditions of emerging Southeast Asia. So when we look at the pricing versus what you would see in the US, and designer pimple patches got really famous with Hailey Bieber and other celebrities posting about them with the stars and other cute designs. Contrary to what we see in mature markets like the US, we're selling it for maybe 1/6 of the price, 1/5 of the price, and so it's extremely accessible. Most of our pimple patches start at $199, and on your favorite marketplaces, there's always double day promos, vouchers, etc., to make it even more accessible.
And it is online, so that also says a lot about accessibility, but I see that you've also gone into some of the convenience stores. So what is the way forward then? Is it all online or a little bit more brick and mortar or both, especially for the Philippines?
So for us, we truly believe in an omni-channel system. So we believe our first touch point with our customers is going to be online, via TikTok, via Instagram, via Facebook, via YouTube. And then at the same time, as a company, as an organization, we must have an omni-channel distribution. We know in the Philippines, it's still very much a retail first market. Consumer habits, every Sunday, what do? We go to the mall, right? So currently we're found in all Watsons nationwide, as well as 7-Eleven in Singapore. And we are exploring other channels, other partners to work with throughout the Philippines to expand our
Right, but
distribution.
you're also working on a market that's slowing. I mean, the economic growth has slowed to 4.4%. What does that mean for a discretionary product as yours? With people possibly maybe trading down or maybe even delaying purchases?
Right, wonderful question. And I think about this quite often. So what we're seeing, thankfully for us, is that people are applying the lipstick effect. Now, what do I mean by that? What they're doing is they're delaying high-ticket price purchases. However, for things that inspire them, that it's accessible, that's a low price point. We see that consumption still happening. And fortunately for us, our sales have been growing, and we hope to continue that.
I know, and you're continuing these products then to Singapore. You've chosen a developed market. It's also still Southeast Asia, living within those boundaries. But tell us more about the market that you're finding in a developed economy with the Gen Zs there, and are you also looking to maybe mine the Gen As?
Yeah, so in mature markets, we need to fundamentally have a different go-to-market approach. In the Philippines, we need to optimize for accessibility, i.e. lower price points, as well as convenience, right, having more channels. For us in Singapore, what we want to do is we want to position our brand in a premium outlet and premium channels, such that given the consumption power or the purchasing power is higher, we need to meet our customers where they're at. So that's the way that we think about mature markets versus growing or emerging markets. Now, with regards to kind of going up from a generation point of view, going from Gen Z to beyond millennials, boomers, etc. What we want to do is beyond having these cute designer pimple patches, we've now introduced generic stars, the round patches, so then that way we can address a larger swath of the market. You might be 30, 40, 50. That doesn't mean you don't get the occasional pimple, and we want to be able to be there and address them and meet them when they're at.
And your roadmap takes you through the ASEAN market, as I understand. This is the interest, even as you're Korean, and it's interesting that you wouldn't want to think about the Korean market first, but you are set on the ASEAN market.
Yes.
Why so? And where does the Philippines lie in that space then?
So When we created Posh, Posh is a Korean brand made in Korea, formulated in Korea. Now, when we formulated the product, rather than formulating for North Asia, i.e. Korea, China, Japan, we formulated this to be relevant and resonant with Southeast Asia. What we mean by this is the formulation is very light, it's very airy. So for example, with our skincare, this is a very hot, humid, tropical climate, right? That is very different from the Korean climate where it's you have harsh winters. You need thick skincare in order to prevent the dry skin. So the way that we formulated this for Southeast Asia, hence the reason why as an organization our focus is to grow across Southeast Asia. We believe given that Philippines is our home market, we must establish market leadership here before we really start looking at other markets. Now, the next 5 years, what that's going to look for us is, obviously, I'm currently based in Singapore. So Singapore is where we're looking at it as a test bed, dipping our toes to make sure that we understand the nuances of launching a new market. However, once we've established the Philippines, we will look at Singapore, Malaysia, Indonesia, Thailand, Vietnam, and other ASEAN markets.
That's a whole lot. Well, thank you, and all the best then in establishing your space here in the Philippines first.
Thank you so much.
Dowan Kim of Posh Skin Co.